Have you ever felt like someone was calling your name, but when you looked, no one was there? It can be a little spooky, right? Well, something very similar happened to a young boy in the Bible, and his story is one of the most incredible accounts of hearing God's voice. Let's travel back in time to ancient Israel and meet a boy named Samuel. Samuel was a special child, dedicated by his mother Hannah to serve God at the temple in Shiloh. He lived there under the care of the high priest, a kind but old man named Eli. Eli's own sons, who were also priests, had sadly turned away from God's path, and their actions had grieved the Lord. The Bible tells us that in those days, the word of the Lord was rare. There were not many visions. It was a spiritually dark time, and the people longed to hear from God. One night, Samuel was sleeping in the temple, near the Ark of the Covenant, which was the most sacred object in all of Israel, representing God's very presence. The lamp of God was still burning, casting a soft glow in the holy place. Suddenly, a voice called out, "Samuel!" Startled, Samuel sat up. He thought it must be Eli. He quickly got up, ran to where the old priest was sleeping, and said, "Here I am. You called me." But Eli, half asleep, replied, "I did not call. Go back and lie down." So Samuel went back to his bed, probably a little confused. A few moments later, it happened again. "Samuel?" The voice was clear. Once more, Samuel rushed to Eli's side. "Here I am. You called me," he said, certain this time. But again, Eli shook his head. "My son, I did not call. Go back and lie down." The Bible notes that at this point, Samuel did not yet know the Lord personally. The word of the Lord had not yet been revealed to him. He was serving in the temple, but he hadn't had that direct, personal encounter with God. So, Samuel returned to his spot and tried to sleep. And for a third time, the Lord called, "Samuel." The boy jumped up and went to Eli, maybe a little frustrated now. "Here I am. Surely called me." This time something clicked for the old priest. Eli realized what was happening. It wasn't him calling the boy, it was God. He looked at Samuel and gave him some of the most important advice he would ever receive. Eli said, "Go and lie down, and if he calls you, say, 'Speak, Lord, for your servant is listening.'" Samuel did exactly as he was told. He went back to his bed, his heart probably pounding with a mix of awe and nervousness. He lay there in the quiet of the temple. Then the Lord came and stood there, calling as he had before, "Samuel, Samuel." Taking a deep breath, Samuel replied, just as Eli had instructed, "Speak, for your servant is listening." No. And in that moment, everything changed. God spoke to Samuel not as a distant deity, but directly as a friend. He told Samuel about the difficult judgment that was coming upon Eli's family because of their disobedience. It was a heavy message for a young boy to carry, but it marked the beginning of his lifelong journey as God's chosen prophet. From that day on, Samuel grew, and the Lord was with him. Everyone in Israel, from one end of the land to the other, came to recognize that Samuel was a true prophet of the Lord. He became the bridge between the era of the judges and the era of the kings, anointing both Saul and David as Israel's first kings. The story of Samuel's calling is a powerful reminder that God can speak to anyone, no matter how young or inexperienced they are. It teaches us the importance of having a heart that is ready to listen. Like Samuel, we might not always recognize God's voice at first. We might mistake it for something else. But if we remain open, and if we have wise mentors like Eli to guide us, we can learn to say, "Speak, Lord, for your servant is listening." Thanks for watching. If this story inspired you, please like, share, and subscribe for more amazing stories from history and faith. See you next time.